Hi, in this short video we're going to show you how to get your recently created image files off-site to our secure data center. To do that you do need a license key from us, so if you don't have one, please contact us on 0844 406 8094 or email us at support@safedatastorage.co.uk. We can generate these files in 10-15 minutes, so you're never long away from getting these files sent off site. So to start with, what we're going to do, we're going to start managing the folder where we stored our image files from Shadow Protect. So I'm going to go ahead and select that folder now, which is just simply F drive backup temp. I'm going to give it a quick name. I'm going to call it Dave's laptop. And because this is a USB drive, the folder doesn't require any sort of authentication, but if it is a NAS device or maybe a machine somewhere on the network, then you can put those credentials in there for you. You can also assign priority to where you want the machines listed. So if Image Manager is looking after 4 or 5 servers and this server happens to be the most important one at the top of the list, just enter number 1 there and it will always be at the top of the list. So I'm going to take that check out as I'm only managing one, and I'm going to save that setting. So there we have, up at the top there it's showing the source computer, which is my computer called Dave, and the folder it's managing. Total size of that folder it's managing, which contains the 39 image files. You can see just a little bit below you've got backup image files, and you can see the initial image file created at 11 o'clock. And then once it created all of that, it took must have been about an hour to copy. And then from 1 o'clock onwards, it was doing 15-minute incrementals all the way through the day until about 6:30, where I decided to go home, and then turn the laptop back on at just before 7, and it carried on doing it all the way up to where we are now at some silly time at 10 o'clock. Okay, so moving on, we now want to set up the replication side for the FTP. All we've got to do, under replication targets, we're going to add a new replication target. We're going to select the type is intelligent FTP, location, and I'm going to name this safe data storage, and the path is simply ftp.safedatastorage.co.uk. You can set the security up if you like, and the mode, we prefer the passive mode. I find that works very well. The username is simply the username you created at your sign up, along with the password. When you click on save, that will authenticate you, and if there's a problem it will prompt you. The subdirectory on our server at the moment is going to be called this. That's just a default setting that Image Manager uses. You can go ahead and call it Dave laptop or the server name. If you had more than one computer, more than one server, then that becomes a bit easier to manage when you come to restoring. We don't throttle any bandwidth. It's as fast or as slow as your system is. But if you find it's using up too much bandwidth, you can throttle it yourself. Also, this is a very important one: don't replicate base image files. My base image file on this is 64 gig. Do I want to send that across the internet? Probably not. My home broadband might have a 2 meg upload, but that's going to take best part of 3, maybe 4 nights, and so I don't want to do that. So I'm going to leave that tick checked. All you have to do is either copy that to a USB drive, send it to us, we copy it to the data center, whilst you send your drive back. But once the data is on the server, the base image is on the server, you will then only replicate your daily intro files from that point on, or you can just let it go. For this demonstration, I'm just going to let it go. Obviously, it will probably never get up there, as it's only a demonstration. The replication mode, what we recommend is you set it to yes to replicate only original unconsolidated intra-daily image files. This means all of these little files that have been created every 15 minutes, as soon as they're verified by Image Manager, will be sent to us, and because they're only 1 meg, 2 meg, you won't really notice a difference in broadband connection or your internet connection. It will just send those files almost invisibly off-site. If you do have problems, if your intra-dailies are large files, then you could set it to just consolidate daily image files. This will happen out of hours, but obviously your local backup is going to be more up to date than what we've got off-site. So if the whole thing burnt down during the day, you might have to go back to the night's previous backup to bring back your servers rather than the last 15 minutes from us. I'm going to leave this on general, on the original unconsolidated intra-daily files. Say save. Okay, what you can see there, the status of this is set to initializing at the moment, and it's also saying next file not verified. That's purely because at the bottom of the screen you can see it saying 9% verified, and it's verifying my base file there for my machine. Once that's got to 100%, this will start sending. Once it's sent the first full file, it will then send all the small incremental files after that. Okay, so a couple of other settings that we recommend that you look at and possibly change. Consolidation settings. This is when it's going to consolidate your daily intras into a weekly intra. The standard is Saturday. You might want to make that a Friday rather than a Saturday, or leave the default as Saturday, and also specify a day. This is the last day of the month, 31st, which makes sense, but you might prefer it to be maybe the last Friday or even the last Saturday of the month. If it's only got 30 days in a month, it will obviously default, it will change back to 30 days for you. I'm going to save that. Retention settings. This is where you can set obviously retention period, how long you want your restore window to be, down to the days, hours, months, weeks, whatever. These are default settings. Must admit, we change ours to 31 collapsed weeklies. That gives you 31 weeks worth of retention. You can set that to whatever you want it to be. This is what our setting will be on off-site, but up to you what you keep it internally. You've got an option down here saying move consolidated daily and weekly image files to subdirectories. If we look back at the folder we created, there is an automatically created folder called incrementals. What will happen is once the daily incrementals are compressed or consolidated into one file, these files will then go into incremental folder. Obviously what that will do is it will just keep filling up the disk space. So if you've got plenty of disk space, it's a great option to have, but be aware that it will start eating into the space very quickly. Just go and save those settings. What other settings do we need? Your notification settings, you can set your emails and set up email notifications, so it will email you any of these options. Low disk space is a good one to have, because if you do start running out of disk space, not only will Shadow Protect not be able to create the images, but obviously it's not going to send anything new off-site if it runs out of disk space. Obviously you've got your server, your SMTP server address that you want to use. If it needs authentication, the sender, recipient and subject, it's all quite obvious. Obviously do a test email just to make sure the email is going to be sent and you're not waiting for an error that's never going to turn up. Licensing we've already covered, and that's basically it. That's all the settings that you need to do. We use Image Manager at our end as well, so all the files that you send to us will get collapsed, verified. If on the very odd occasion we have a problem and it's reporting an issue, we will contact you. If we've got an issue, chances are you've probably got the same issue, and hopefully you're kind of aware of it, but if not, we will make you aware of it and help you resolve that by possibly just going back a couple of intra files to then get to one that's good. It's very, very rare that we see problems. Most of the problems come purely because of disk space running out, or maybe even corruption on disk that maybe you weren't aware of. That's probably about it. That's all you need to know to get your images off-site. If you have any questions, you can email us at support@safedatastorage.co.uk or pick up the phone and have a chat with us. It's on 0844 406 8094. Thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. Cheers. Bye bye.